Hi, my name is Sue Wyman, and I'm Director of Business Career Connections. Prior to joining the business school, I had a 13-year career in executive recruiting. So this video series on careers comes from that foundation. So on resumes, it's time, but it's not just time now. It's always a good idea to have your resume up to date and ready to go in case something exciting comes up. People do not like to do their own resumes, but it's really important so that you can be responsive to whatever's going on in your career life. So we're going to talk about resumes. So first of all, when you're writing your resume, you need to consider your reader. Most probably, the first reader of your resume is going to be an applicant tracking system or a database, a smart database for the hiring process in companies. It can do a lot of things, but there are also a lot of things that it can't do. As we all know, it ranks you by keywords. It doesn't really understand graphics. It understands text. So it can't handle really complex formatting. Applicant tracking systems process thousands of resumes per day, totally unemotionally, often using artificial intelligence, and it ranks candidates by those keywords. And what it really lacks is the intuition and the understanding of nuance that a person would have. So once it ranks the candidates, recruiters go into their platform and they see how the candidates line up. They also prefer easy to read formatting. They spend, as you've probably heard before, 6 to 10 seconds skimming the resume, trying to decide really quickly if they should move forward with you. A recruiter probably looks at hundreds of resumes per day. And I think that they would all agree that longer is not better when it comes to a resume. The recruiters then pick the top candidates for them to screen. After they screen the candidates and select their top 10 or whatever their company decides is the number, the resumes go to the hiring manager. Once again, they like to read clean, lightly formatted documents. They give your resume a much more substantial read because they know exactly what they're looking for, and they can tell in many cases if you're blowing smoke and exaggerating in any area. So they look at your resume and they make a decision who out of the number that they receive they will move forward with in an interview. And you certainly want one of those people to be you. Graphical resumes are very popular, but they are, from my estimation, a bad idea. Applicant tracking systems cannot read graphics. It looks cool, but how do you update that? How do you get the right information on the page, even if it could read it, which it can't? Microsoft is also getting in on the act, and in their templates, they have a graphical resume with a photo on it. Not a good idea. If you feel like you really need to do a graphical resume, email it to the recruiter or hiring manager if you have that information, or bring it with you to an interview. But do not submit it online. Submit a traditional resume online to protect yourself. This is a view of what an applicant tracking system can look like. When the recruiter comes in, they pull up the job that they're looking for. And I said that applicant tracking systems are not emotional. For the most part, neither are recruiters. They have a job to do. They have to sift through a lot of things and make a decision who they're going to pass to the hiring manager. In this case, you can see that the first 9 people on this list received the random score of 100, and that the next person got 50. So you might ask yourself, why did John get a 50 when Allison above him got 100? It could be that he has the right experience but didn't display the information well and articulately on his resume. This recruiter may come to this screen, and there may be another 25 screens just like it with candidates. Some companies receive hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of resumes. So there's no way that those recruiters are going to look at all of them. So you really want to come up in a decent position on their screen. Resume styles, chronological is preferred by just about everyone. And that is the type of resume where your work history contains both your experience and accomplishments with your most recent job first. Functional resumes are, some resume writers like them, but I can tell you that recruiters do not like them. And it raises a red flag for recruiters that you're trying to hide something. So stick with the chronological resume. Just some basics: font size of 10 or 11, using nice clean fonts that are easy to read. Times New Roman in most cases is not easy to read for recruiters, so stick with some of these cleaner fonts. Avoid doing too much stuff to the resume, underlining, italics, color here and there. Don't do that. It looks very messy and hard to read. You want to be remembered for the accomplishments that you bring and the experience, not because you have your name in size 48 font in blue. Do not use first person. So none of the I did this, my team, our company. No first person. And do not include pictures. Pictures are used in some countries and cultures. Our country is not one of them. So do not include pictures. Use bullets over paragraphs. Bullets are easier to read. They force you to be more succinct in getting your message across. And 3-line maximum is a general rule. And keep the resume to 1 to 2 pages. 3 pages is too much for corporate resumes, and 4 pages looks like you just need to get over yourself. So while you're doing this, you need to analyze the job descriptions that you're interested in. Here's an example for a social media marketing company of the responsibilities of the job. And you can see in red kind of what the key areas are. So when you're going through job descriptions, make sure that when you're looking at them, you look at them this way and not just looking at it saying, oh my gosh, that sounds so cool, I would love to do that. That's not going to get you hired. Experience and skills, again, you're looking for those cues of really what they're looking for. So if you look at the keywords from those 2 pages, social was in it 6 times, content 4, brand and channels 2 times each, you kind of get the idea of what you need to be qualified for this position and to apply for it. Your accomplishments are your career story, and you really want them to be interesting and succinct and measurable where possible. Not everything is measurable, but actions plus results lead to some interesting, measurable, and succinct bullets. So looking at reducing inventory and giving information, improving efficiency, reducing expenses, things like that. When you're writing your bullets, sometimes bullets are way too long, sometimes they're way too short. But an initial bullet of led the technical teams for a major project, probably not good enough. And you can see by just pulling more information out about what you actually did, it makes for a better, more interesting bullet. The last bullet has a lot more information. Certainly on a regular document, it would not be that long, but this is a great bullet and really can bring up some interest from the hiring manager. So where do you get those accomplishments from? I mean, you are the source of those accomplishments, and a lot of times people undervalue what they've done. So you really need to think about what you've done on your projects and what your projects accomplished. Look at performance reviews. Great place to look for things that you're proud of. And any honors or recognition that you've received from your boss or team members are good things to put in. I like to use a summary of experience. I think it gives you a good place to highlight why someone should be interested in you. So one of the things about measurable bullets is that numbers and acronyms can kind of draw the eye through that portion of the resume. The next part, professional experience, putting it in this kind of a lineup with company name, city, state, month, and year. I don't like right justification on resumes because sometimes on different monitors that right justified date can slip and it can screw up all your formatting. So once again, trying to have measurable things. And what you're really doing with the summary and the professional experience is you're connecting the dots for the hiring entities on why they should hire you and bring you in for an interview. And next, how you save your resume is important. I suggest that you use your first and last name, the word resume, and the year. Please don't save it with resume version 7 or resume project management. It's important if someone saves your resume to their desktop that they are able to find you. And last, make it perfect and error-free. This is a document that you have total control of, and you really want it to reflect you as well as possible. One suggestion is that you put it through Grammarly.com before you're complete. And Grammarly.com has a free version. I suggest that you use it, and it will give you a lot more confidence that your resume is the way that it should be. So know that BCC is available to you. You can see our resources on our webpage on the CU website, business.ucdenver.edu/BCC. We have lots of resources there. And if you need an appointment, reach out to us at bcc@ucdenver.edu. Thanks so much, and I hope you join us for one of the other videos in the series.